The perfect time to make cold calls in real estate wholesaling. What is up, guys? Zach Ginn here, and in today's video, I'm going to break down when is the perfect time to actually cold call your motivated sellers so you get the best results in cold calling for real estate wholesaling. Before I get into it, you already know you need to smash that like button and subscribe to get the most free value from me. Remember, I'm trying to help you make your first $100,000 in real estate wholesaling absolutely for free. So let's get into it. I get asked this question so many times. Zach, when is the perfect time for me to actually get into cold calling? Everyone knows when I started cold calling at the age of 17, I was easily making over $100,000 in profit virtually wholesaling from my dorm room because I did the perfect cold calling schedule. Yes, I stuck to a cold calling schedule, but it's really important to know that the perfect time to cold call is ultimately the time where you can actually go and cold call. Don't try to do this perfect timing thing where you got to make the stars align for the perfect time for cold calling. I'm telling you, I've cold calls from all hours of the day, from 9 a.m. all the way to 9 p.m. I've found certain times that worked really well for me and other times that really didn't work well for me at all. But the number one tip I can give to you before we break down the perfect time to call is your time is the most important one. Remember, if you want to have success in real estate wholesaling, especially with cold calling, you need to create your own schedule so you can stay consistent. Consistency is one of the number one key factors for your success when it comes to cold calling and real estate wholesaling. And I think creating a schedule today with your perfect time for cold calling will yield you the best results. This is a cheap answer, but I will give you my perfect times. But yes, your time would be the best one possible because it allows the most amount of cold calling being done. You generally shouldn't be calling before 8 a.m. or after 8 p.m. But generally, if you're in between those time frames and you're available, that's a good time to be calling. No seller is going to have a perfect time for them to call you. Fortunately for us as real estate wholesalers, our motivated sellers, when they're ready to sell, we can call them at all hours of the day. That property is a problem for them and they need a solution for it. So the perfect time is not an actual time of day on a clock, but a time on the calendar. Remember that. Let me say this one more time. The time on a calendar is more important than the time on the clock with a problem property with a motivated seller. So remember, what time you call them is not the biggest deal in the world. It's more important you call them during that calendar date before another wholesaler, realtor goes after them and tries to get that property sold with them or listed. It's important that we call them within the time that they need to sell it for cash quickly. So you can do this by doing consistent cold calling and really consistent follow-ups with your real estate wholesaling lists. I mean, some sellers, when you're calling them, they eat their dinner at 4 p.m. super early, or they eat their dinner at 9 p.m. I know a lot of people say, don't call after 5 p.m. because people are eating dinner. Well, people get off of work at different times. People have different types of families. I've had sellers who are super night owls that I've called them at 8 p.m. and gotten deals, and I've called sellers who I had to call them at like 10 a.m. to get a real estate wholesaling deal. So they're all over the board. So don't stress too much on the time. But you're watching this video and you want to know what I think the perfect time for cold calling in real estate wholesaling is, and I'm going to reveal it to you. The best time for cold calling in real estate wholesaling, in my humble opinion, remember, the best time is when you can call, but if you have 24 hours available in the day to cold call, I recommend you cold call from 2 to 7 p.m. When I was wholesaling real estate, when I was first getting into cold calling, for me to gain the skill set needed to actually start dealing with motivated sellers and actually getting my own real estate wholesaling deals virtually from my dorm room, what I did was Monday through Friday. That's right, Monday through Friday, 5 days a week, I cold called from 2 to 7 p.m. on a huge high equity list in Port St. Lucie, Florida, while I was at my dorm room. What were the results of that? I was easily netting over 10 grand a month in real estate wholesaling profit virtually from this strategy. So that's what worked for me. That's still the schedule that I use today for my VAs for cold calling. So I'm really not going to deviate from that schedule. That is the perfect time to actually get into cold calling for real estate wholesaling, but there are some caveats to that. I think Monday through Friday is still the best days of the week to cold call. Saturday, Sunday, it's actually harder to do, but why did I choose 2 to 7 p.m.? No, it's not because that was the only time I had available. I really did some research and I did say, it is best whatever time you can get cold calling in, but statistically, after lunchtime and before dinner time is the perfect timing to actually go and talk to your motivated sellers. They're basically almost home from work, or they're not working that day, or they're close to their phone and they'll get to you as soon as possible. So I found out 2 to 7 has just yielded me the best results, and that's the one I stick to. 9 a.m. to noon, and really the results weren't the same from that. So overall, what I can tell you is 2 to 7 p.m. has just been the best for me. Now remember, everyone's work schedule is different, so do what works for you. Some of your motivated sellers are not going to answer you. They're going to be mad at you because you called them after dinner, but no one's schedule is going to be perfect. So don't stress too much on the time. You could still get real estate wholesaling deals cold calling from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. I've actually seen real estate wholesalers who cold call have the best results cold calling from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. You know why? Because they like cold calling in the early morning. The stress or the grind or the grog of the day hasn't hit them yet, and they're fresh, they got their coffee, and they're ready to go, and they're super motivated to go. So guys and gals have had super awesome results when it came to cold calling in the morning versus in the evening. In my personal opinion, your energy levels are super important, and having that energy to keep going and to push yourself is really good. Do I recommend you cold call from 2 to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday? Probably not. You have to be extremely motivated and dedicated, and really your why has to be so strong on why you actually want to get a deal that it will be way bigger than your reasoning why you're tired of cold calling. I'm telling you, 5 hours a day of cold calling is a lot, and it's extremely tough. But if you can keep that grind up and keep going, you will get a real estate wholesaling deal from cold calling, and that will change the game for you. You'll get money where you can actually spend money for a VA from the Philippines to start cold calling for you. Maybe get a triple line dialer to actually help with your results, and you can start getting a better ROI in your real estate wholesaling business. So eventually you don't have to cold call. From that 1 year of cold calling in my dorm room, I was able to make enough money. I never had a cold call ever again for the rest of my life. So just think about that for a second. I mean, put in as many hours as you can cold calling. It will gain your skills as a real estate wholesaler to talk to sellers, to get better at cold calling, to just have better conversations with people. So overall, you can make more money in your real estate wholesaling business. Another secret I can give you is if you get motivated before you start a cold call, or you keep your why in your head while you're cold calling, you can push through the mental roadblocks or the mental barriers on how much you can cold call. I remember I thought the most I could cold call was an hour or 2 hours at most, or I would go insane. I started thinking about my whys. I asked this one question to myself. What if I don't cold call? What if this month I don't get a real estate wholesaling deal? What if I just stop cold calling? What would happen? I'd be back as a bag boy. I could be a manager at my grocery store, making $50,000 a year, working 70 hours a week, having a life that I did not want, and truly a life that I did not deserve for myself. Am I worth more than $50,000 a year? I told myself yes. And I will grind for my dream and my ambition to go out there and change my life, change my future family's life, to go out there and go after it and get a real estate wholesaling deal. That is my why that pushed me past so much to help me get the results with my cold calling for real estate wholesaling. Sometimes you need that push, so it won't even matter. If you have that push from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m., it'll be better than the 2 to 7. If you are motivated and you have the right attitude for your real estate wholesaling business and for your cold calling, you will get the great results. I'm telling you right now, a great attitude will destroy the perfect time for cold calling. Better mindset will beat anyone who has a bad mindset with the perfect timing for cold calling and real estate wholesaling. It's just having that smile, that energy, just being grateful that you're in the position where you can actually start cold calling. That is the little stuff where it'll destroy your competition. And one last thing I can tell you. You might be looking at me thinking, this guy is just looking at me and he talks a big game about cold calling, but really, I mean, no one had a camera when you were 17. I don't know if you can cold call or you cold call well. Well, hear me out. I cold call almost on a weekly basis, over 2 hours a day in real estate wholesaling on the hardest cold calling list possible, the for sale by owner list on Zillow. I will cold call that list for 2 hours a day live in front of you guys. That's right. Search my name, space, cold call live. You'll see lots of videos of me actually cold calling motivated sellers live in front of you. I am not like these regular gurus. The regular gurus you see on YouTube and other YouTube channels, and they're selling you courses for cold calling. I'm not here to sell you a course. I'm here to give you the truth. These gurus, when they do a live cold call, they'll put live cold call on there. They'll have it edited. It'd be perfect. Their grandma's probably on the other line, just feeding scripts. A lot of these killer closing cold calls are really just scripted conversations. Now, am I going to tell you that this guru had a scripted conversation here on this YouTube video? No, I'm not going to say it for this certain guru, but a lot of gurus out there are having scripted conversations. They are all scared to cold call in front of you live. Why is that? Because they think cold calling has to be perfect. And if you buy my course, you'll get the perfect cold calling script and the world's going to be perfect. I'm telling you right now, if you have a fear to cold call and that's why you're trying to get the best time or really reduce the time of cold calling, it's because of these gurus doing live cold calling where everything's scripted, edited perfectly, so everything's the most amazing thing possible to show that they are just this crazy closer, but deep down inside, they are scared to get behind a camera and start cold calling a list live. They are scared to death to do that, but I am not. You know why? Because I know my cold calling is not perfect, but if I keep going, I will get results and I will get in front of a motivated seller and I can close those deals. That is the difference between me and a guru. That is the difference between you and your success in real estate wholesaling. Are you going to watch gurus with live cold calling and get your confidence down because you're not the perfect closer with this edited grandma's on the other line? No, guys, cold calling is not perfect. You do not have to be perfect. Your confidence needs to be super high to get cold calling results done. And remember, don't look at other videos. Don't compare yourself. Watch how I cold call. It's not perfect, but I get in front of huge, massive $50,000 probate deals. I just followed the script and I grind it out, and I have the why in my head to help you make $100,000 per year in real estate wholesaling absolutely for free, no gurus, nothing. I'm here to change the game for real estate wholesaling, and I hope you take action today to get going for cold calling and get results so you can change your life, your future family's life, or even your family's life right now. I believe in you. Get cold calling, and I can't wait to see your results. I am rooting for you. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Sorry for the little rant at the end there, but I am sick of these scripted conversations where I'm out here going live. I'm putting my butt on the line for live cold calling to show you guys you don't have to be perfect. You just have to put the hours in the gym and do the work. Thank you guys so much. I truly appreciate it. The support you guys give to this channel means everything to me. Thank you guys so much. Have a blessed day.